Where do you land with this?
Well, so
Nikki?
normally on most issues, except for this, I'm very liberal, right?
Okay.
So I voted for decriminalising abortion.
Yes.
I voted for end-of-life choice for a
Yes.
small group of people to be able to end their life earlier. But what the government isn't putting up is decriminalisation of marijuana. What they're actually putting up is legalisation. And let me just explain what I see the difference is. Look, we don't have a whole lot of people that are charged for criminal offences or locked up for marijuana now, right? And this is recreational.
You can almost blow smoke at a policeman on the beat and they'll
This is
try and...
recreational, not, as you say, people who sell it, right? But there aren't a whole lot of people. But I'm similar in your camp, for which, if this is a question of not having the people that are locked up, you know, I'm more liberal on that, right? I actually believe in terms of medicinal cannabis. We put up a potential regime. We've done the detailed work on that. However, what legalisation is, and as I see it, is access anywhere. We're talking hash cookies, we're talking gummy bears. It's basically available and accessible.
A la, what, California or
and even where Canada have
Colorado.
Gone. And look, both sides, the extreme sides of both ends of the debates, those that are completely anti and those that are completely pro, skew the figures and the facts. But where I've got to is New Zealand has high rates of suicide, high rates of domestic and sexual and family violence. We've already got a massive P issue and a cannabis issue. When I look at the research, it is overwhelming in terms of the impact on brain development for under 25s. So if we want to be a dumber nation, then we will move into a situation where we have, in my view, legalisation of cannabis.
But isn't there an argument for getting it out of the gang's control, and so by having some legalisation...
It's really mixed in terms of the research around that. What I would say is we've got to do more around gangs generally, because they certainly are at the forefront in terms of drugs. There is huge violence that occurs. So there'll be multiple ways to crack that. But I do think when New Zealanders wake up to the fact that the government isn't putting up decriminalisation of cannabis, they're putting up legalisation of cannabis. And I think some people are waking up to that fact, because the latest poll showed that it had dropped to about 39% of New Zealanders. I think there'll be a pretty different view on that, because I think this issue of, at one level, we're paddling as a country to say, how do we be smarter? How do we do better emotionally? How do we resolve some of these social issues? And a lot of that is around neuroscience, but also the role of family, attachment, parenting, all of these things.
Introduce marijuana into all this mix.
And we just then want to go and legalise marijuana, and we already have some problems with alcohol harm. Now again, I would argue, if we get the pillars of society right, we actually support parents who are working. We actually say it's really important to ensure that people have time with their children young. We value teachers more. We do go after the baddies and the gang members. We are not extreme and actually say people can drink responsibly. We're not going to lock up a whole lot of people for smoking cannabis. That's a very different country to one that decides to legalise, I think, marijuana at a point at which we've got a whole lot of social issues. That could be a cocktail or a recipe for disaster.